here we are, ready to see Swansea City take on Rainy City Tender Hooligans.
So Swansea will just go quickly through the roster. We have 11 Bexon, 14 is Coupe de Gras, 15 is Enemy, 2544 McLean, 3 is Faust, 303 Jekyll, 345 Kitty. The captain today, 37, is Victory. Number 4 is Biasuti, 5050 Snail, 7 Mort, 8 Miranda, 90 Top Gun, and 9819 Slaycock.
We're into the first jam where Ducky has got the lead jammer position. The Swansea's jammer Mort has just broken the pack.
And Ducky waiting to be signalled to the bench. And calling off that jam with a nice little 5 points to start.
I wouldn't sniff at that. That's pretty good, yeah. Nice strong start. Do you think that Swansea can come back from such a crushing first jam?
I feel that they've got another 29 minutes in this first half to show what they've got.
Okay, on the jammer line for Rainy City there is number 5-2, Pera Pellegro. And for Swansea, it is another skater.
That is Bexon, number 11. And Pera Pellegro out for lead for the Hooligans. But Bexon very close by there. A little jammer on jammer action onto turn 1.
So Rainy City with a 100% ratio of having lead jammer so far in this game. And after 2 jams, that really is an exciting statistic for us.
If you ever need somebody to stat you some facts, Mimey can certainly provide that service.
They may not be accurate, but they are statistical. So we've got number 1-3, Sammy Rizzle, jamming for the Tender Hooligans.
And Coupe de Gras jamming for Swansea City.
We have a power jam here as number 1-3 has been sent to the box and Coupe de Gras is out at the front. Swansea have lead.
And this is going to give the Slayers an opportunity to get some points on the board early on. Hopefully able to match or better the Tender Hooligans' 5 points that are currently on the board.
Rainy City's jammer is back on the track, about half, quarter, a few feet behind the pack. Jammer is up, he's through, has completed the initial pass and is reapplying the helmet cover. It's quite a popular tendency this weekend to see jammers taking off their helmet covers whenever possible. I can only assume it's because they get very hot. Okay, next jam we've got Mort's back up, number 7 for Swansea. And 3-1-6, Lily Gaskell for Rainy City Tender Hooligans.
We may just end up calling them the Hooligans and Slayers throughout this, and we apologise if
I can do that. I can do that.
Because currently the scoreboard makes that an easier look. And we have Mort for lead jammer for the Slayers.
Half a lap behind her, we have Lily Gaskell is coming up, but Mort gets through the pack, calls it. Must apologise for a little bit of clumsiness here. Boots and I are currently fighting over one single microphone, and professionals that we are, we're not going to complain about it, but oh my god.
Not only is this a singular microphone, this is a singular microphone also attached to headphones, so we are just swaying it back and forth. We're very cosy right now.
This is the most intimate I've been with anybody in 47 years.
We're going to keep this intimacy going into this next jam. That is 2-7-3. That is Ducky jamming for the Hooligans, and McLean is jamming for the Slayers. But McLean taking a trip to the penalty box right now.
So it's Ducky's second outing as jammer. She was the jammer in the first jam, and gaining lead jammer status on that occasion. And gaining it again, 2 in 2, 100%. Gets a no pass, no penalty, and completes that initial pass successfully.
There was some fantastic footwork from Ducky on the outside there, facing off against a tough 2 wall.
But tough or not, it's no match for her skating skills. Getting through on a scoring pass there, 5 in the sky. Has there been a lead change? I think already there must have been a lead change. Slayers currently on 9. Hooligans were on 10. There's another 5 going up there. Ducky takes a minor stumble, but rights herself. There are for a moment there were no Swansea blockers in the pack, as one was returning just as another was being sent off, but it was okay. There was a no pack for possibly a second. Not that.
The referees swiftly gave us an opportunity to reform that pack without any penalties being called there.
Number 90, Top Gun, providing a bit of distraction there for Ducky as she tries to get through the pack. Being an inconvenience, but Ducky is a very strong jammer there. Just shrugs it off, really.
I was going to say, I really want to give a shout out to number 56, El Nasser, for the Tender Hooligans. That was a fantastic hit towards the end there.
Well done, El Nasser. We salute you in a fairly impartial way.
Because we are completely impartial.
You say impartial, it's just that I don't care. I'm here for the talky words.
We genuinely don't care the outcome of any of these games. We are more interested in the food that the officials are being given, the hot coffee, and the banter between announcers.
So we have a team timeout here, signalled by Swansea. So the scores at the moment, 24 for the Tender Hooligans, 9 for the Slayers. So we can understand they might want to just recalibrate, get their heads back in, ensure that they have the best chance to deal with Rainy City's tactics. Obviously this is Rainy City's B team, but when we've seen what Rainy City's A team could do against London last weekend, we're not expecting them to make it easy for Swansea. That's all I'm thinking.
No, I mean, if the Tender Hooligans are kind of feeding into that A team, these are blockers and jammers who are being taught to be at the top of their games, and so far with that 19-point jam in that last jam, they're doing a good job so far.
So we're back with number 52 for Rainy City, Pera Pellegro, against Bexon, 11 for Swansea. So they have gone up against each other once before, and again it was Pera Pellegro who gets lead jammer and control of this jam. Pera Pellegro on a scoring pass now. Battling through the pack, gets through for a 5-point pass.
And quite a broken up pack for Swansea right now. I think we have a jammer going into the box and 2 blockers. So I think, is it Snail and Enemy? Very vicious tag team by the looks of it.
Enemy, number 15, gave an effective block, but unfortunately not a legal block. So is sent to the box for a clockwise. And Pera Pellegro jams on. Is that about the 14th pass, or is it 72nd? It's been quite a few passes.
At the end of the day, I think Pera Pellegro is probably faster than I would be on track. So that's good news for the Tender Hooligans.
Indeed, was that Snail just took Peripelligro down, but only down for a moment. Bounced back up.
And Snail picking up what looks like a clockwise block there.
So Swansea capable of giving big hits here that are impeding Rainy City, but not always legal. And the strength of the Rainy Jammers means that whatever impediment is minor.
I think as well with these Swansea blockers having a little bit of penalty trouble, and I mean we're only 6 jams in. We've seen sort of a rotating door with that penalty box. Let's hoping in the next couple of jams that Swansea can lock that down. Keeping blockers on track is going to mean that they are more successful in getting their jammers out and stopping the opposing jammer.
What do blockers mean? Prizes. Maybe? Yeah. Right, there's an official timeout being signalled here. Referees seem to be okay, so perhaps there's an NSO issue that needs to be sorted out. Well, as you've just said, there are so many penalties going on, particularly for one side, that it is important to make sure you stay on top of those, and sometimes 10 seconds here can really save a massive headache for later. Yeah, people looking pensively at the scoreboard, not the scoreboard, the penalty board and the paperwork there, ensuring everything is tip-top.
We're very lucky to have such calibre of officials both on and off skates.
Indeed.
And
behind the mics as
and
well.
Behind,
yeah.
I mean, you know,
some excellent officials here.
there is some excellent talking and number crunching and whistle blowing and joy. There's some wonderful joy going on right now.
Right, number 1-3, Sammy Rizzle is lining up in the jammer position for Rainy City. Swansea jammer
standing in the box.
Standing in the box. So that remains number 11, Bexon.
And this means that Rainy, for them to capitalise on this power jam, they look like they're going to do some offence to get Sammy Rizzle through to then reform and block.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see. You've got 2 Rainy blockers on the inside of the pivot line, 2 on the outside of the pivot line. Just look so poised, so focused. They know what they're about to do. I have an idea what they might do, but it looks like it's going to make an easy path whichever way the jammer chooses to go.
And currently Sammy Rizzle is surveying the scene in front of them and not giving away which side they might choose.
The official timeout is over. There are 5 seconds. We're going to have another jam. Right, big run up there for Sammy Rizzle, who gets through to the front and is declared lead. Minimal effort on the outside there.
Fantastic stability with that inside leg, meaning that any hits that they were receiving brushed off.
Penalty box is emptied and Swansea's jammer Bexon has made her way through the pack 2.
Bexon out but not picking up any points.
So scores at the moment 48-9. Obviously by getting through, Bexon has arrested the bleeding of points a little bit there.
But it is a strong early lead in the first 10 minutes for those tender hooligans.
39 points in it.
See, this is math that you can do. I need to reach into my bag to get a calculator to do anything in a minute.
Well, do you want me to explain the strategies I use? Because I'm good at explaining mathematical strategies.
Yes, please.
Oh, sorry, there's roller derby happening. I'd better just focus on the game.
We'll save that for the half-time. And if you people at home would like to listen in, we'll make sure that the microphone is still running as Emma has math explained to her.
What have I let myself in for? This is Rules Laid Bare, part 19, the offshoot. Anyway, back on track. We've got 3-1-6, Lily Gaskell for Rainy City. Going up against
De Grasse.
Coup de Grace. Number 1-4.
Lily Gaskell picking up lead and is back round on turn 2. Is that turn 2 or 1?
Where are we?
I think it was turn 1.
2,
yeah.
3, 4. I can count to 4. Lily Gaskell making short work of most of the pack, getting held up a little bit by Kitty there, by Swansea's 3-4-5. And out again, completing another scoring pass. It's just one Swansea blocker on track. Another a 2. Another a 3. So they are piling back up. What will Lily do now? Lily will skip through on the inside line, making it look very easy.
I can tell you that it's not. I have seen those blockers annihilating people before.
And it does take years and years of hard training on track, in the gym, to actually get this good. Don't think I'm being dismissive of them.
No.
Just jealous.
And background for another scoring pass. I mean, at the moment, Lily has put 24 points on the board. I think that is another 4 going up.
Wow.
5.
There's been a star pass for Swansea. And straight away, Rainy City have switched their attention to the new jammer, not giving her a moment to breathe.
That is Top Gun jamming for the Slayers. Well, I do believe that might have been the highest scoring jam of the game. 34 points put up by Lily Gaskell.
Pretty impressive, and especially since she wasn't just skating around without getting anything in the way. That's 34 points with opposition kind of impeding her. So, very, very impressive. There. New jam there, and we've got number 3-7, that's Victory for Swansea, and 2-7-3, it's Ducky again.
I was actually watching Rainy Sitter earlier in the year at Anarchy, and I do believe Ducky was playing for their A as well as their BT.
That's impressive, but Victory just got lead jammer. Ducky's been sent to the box. Everything still to play for Swansea here. It may be 82 to Rainy, and Victory may have just been blocked out. But there's all to play for.
And let's just talk about some of that fantastic offense that Swansea are giving right now to try and get Victory through.
It's very fantastic.
Victory with 1 at the front. Just close of getting around. But being drawn to the back of the pack. Or is there a no pass, no penalty?
I think what happened there was she'd gone out of bounds and the bench had seen what had happened, saying just go back on, don't try and recycle. Oh, Ducky on, back on, cuts immediately, sent straight back off. Well, Swansea will be breathing a sigh of relief there, as that gives them a little more time to make their way through.
And Victory doing a fantastic job of jamming in this. I think background on another scoring pass.
Veteran of Team West Indies and many campaigns for Swansea City. So experience does show.
I was going to say, I think both teams have got a nice selection of amazing international roller derby players. Roly derby? I just said roller derby.
We're here for the Roly Derby. Yes, we are children. And that's the end of the jam, and we see an empty penalty box so far. We see 82 points for the Tender Hooligans, 18 for the Swansea City Slayers. So they've doubled their points in that jam.
And I think we also now have a timeout being called.
Who called the timeout? Who?
The timeout was actually called by the Tender Hooligans, being, I don't know, displayed to, no, I can't think of the word right now.
They're being gestured at, right?
Gestured, that's the word.
I do the words and I do the numbers. I am the double threat when it comes to primary school level of intelligence. Anyway, I'm thinking maybe Rainy City haven't been happy to just lose those, to allow those 9 points to be scored against them. And they're like, right, we're shutting that down straight away. We are going to make sure nothing gets past us. We'll see how this timeout affects their play when they come back on track. And it could just be a little breather. They've been working really hard.
This could also be a good point for the Slayers to have a timeout, giving them a little bit of a breather, a chance to regroup their thoughts, and for their next jammer up, which I think is Mort, to really lay some groundwork for getting that score higher for the Slayers.
Long been a fan of Mort's skating style. I think fantastic jammer, really, really graceful style, and if anybody can, Mort can. Did they? Yes, Mort is through for lead jammer. About half a lap behind, we have got Pere Pellegrin. Not lead, but still hungry for the points. What's Mort going to do? Comes up, scores, calls it off just as the hips are passing. Who was that? Was that Una at the front? Oh, we haven't done the roster for Rainy City yet, have we? Or did we do Rainy and we didn't do Swansea? Did you do everybody?
Swansea. We didn't
Okay.
do Rainy.
So, next time there's a timeout, I'll talk to you about who's on the roster, but not now. You can be excited and wait for that later.
We have more important things than rosters. We have action. Live action. Here from Stoke.
Glorious, beautiful Stoke on Trent.
When I was told there was announcing in Stoke, I thought it might have been Stoke Newington. I was wrong.
Typical London attitude.
Yep.
Skater 1-3, Sammy Rizzle is lead for Rainy City. That is the second time that they've achieved lead jammer. There's a forearms being issued to somebody. It's a Rainy City player. There is is that Kate Bush? And a cut track as well.
As a cut track to Sammy Rizzle, so this will be a power jam in favour of McLean.
Ooh, so not lead, just finished the initial pass, so on the first scoring pass now. We're getting some offence from number 1-1, Bexon. Obviously a jammer knows what a jammer needs sometimes, so excellent. 5 points then for McLean. Brain stopped for a moment then. All I saw was white. White noise. Oh, jammer is back on track for Rainy City. Wrestling 2-wall here. We've got Bexon and Enemy working together. Enemy goes down, Bexon takes up the slack, chasing down the jammer. They reset, but this time number 13, Sammy Rizzle, gets back easily.
And we can see McLean at the moment really struggling behind a strong 2-wall at the back, getting quite battered around.
Bexon getting a clockwise penalty. Direction of gameplay, that's the word I was looking for. And the jam is called.
I think that would have been a full 2-minute jam there.
Now, this is very exciting for me. I noticed that while the Tender Hooligans have 93 points, the Slayers have 20. Oh, they had 27. I was excited. Now it's gone up to 31. I was going to say how it's all multiples of 9 and how exciting that is, but no, it's not. They've got more. Good for them.
It may not be a multiple of 9, but they have put 9 points on the board in that last jam.
Ooh. I like numbers. Next up, we have got 316. Lily Gaskell whooshing through the pack like there was nobody there. And getting lead in the process.
And a very smooth pass through the front there. A little hit to victory.
Quite a big hit to victory there. I expected her to make more impact, but she just shrugged it off, span round, and went back on with what she had to do. Looks like it was a bit of confusion there. Or did everybody just skate around after the jam had ended just for fun?
Yeah, I think there was confusion, and then they were like, no, this is totally what we meant to do.
Alright, Tender Hooligans 99, Slayers 31. 68 point differential.
I'm glad again that you were here to do the math because I don't use my brain for smart making.
But if I have a shipping query.
Oh, if you have a shipping query, anyone can get in contact with me. If you find me on Facebook, if you have anything you need to ship anywhere, I can get you a quotation for that because I will have somebody else, my calculator, helping me with that math.
Excellent. So Boots for all your shipping needs. Well, all your shipping advice needs. I'm not expecting Boots to go and do it, personally.
I definitely cannot fly a plane. I also can't drive a car, so if you need me to pick anything up and give it to you and it takes longer than like 20 minutes, you're not getting that.
Oh, nearly through on the inside, just recycled. Lead has been declared for Ducky, but Ducky is only just getting free. Other jammer chasing down. Morty's now ahead of Ducky, and Ducky calls it. Great power there, and real grit and determination from Mort. Well, I don't care if you're lead jammer, I'm having some of this pie, the points pie.
Not only the points pie, but the speed that Mort flung themselves out of the pack.
Against Ducky, who has 75% of getting lead when jamming.
Those are live stats being brought to you by the British Champs Tier 2.
Okay, jamming in this next jam, we have got number 5-2, that's Pera Pellegro, up against number 11, Bexon, who has just been declared lead jammer. Well, I think they'll like that.
Not only is Bexon lead jammer, they are on a power jam right now as we have Pella Pellegro sitting in the penalty box for probably another 20 seconds.
Misdemeanors unknown. I didn't even see it happen. Oh, people taking knees, tumbling out of bounds, and Bexon gets through again. Unfortunately, picking up a cutting penalty on the way.
Jam ref Homo, you didn't, signalling to go to the penalty box for that cut track. So we have a jammer switcheroo.
Back on track, Pera Pellegro, not lead, no lead in this game anymore, sadly. Made their way through on the initial pass, so just coming back round on the scoring pass. Rainy blockers at the back, 2 Swansea blockers to pass. Hips past one, that's 4 points. Hips past the other, yes. I call that 5 points.
If you're calling it as 5 points and the referee is calling it as 5 points, I'm going to say that's 5 points.
Belinda agreeing with me. Thank you, Belinda. Another scoring pass there, easily getting past the Rainy blockers. For some reason, Rainy jammer past Rainy blockers. I'm beginning to understand this game. Oh, and once more, Bexon is being sent off with a cutting penalty, trying to make their way through on that scoring pass, just returning from the box. So Pera Pellegro is racking up the points.
We have had the Tender Hooligans hit the century, so currently at 109 points for the Tender Hooligans.
Don't forget to stay hydrated. It's very important to keep your fluids up.
Please also drink responsibly. If you are going to be taking part in any kind of quote-unquote drinking game, we'll invite you to take a sip of your soda or juice beverage right now.
I was talking about water.
You can also stay hydrated with water.
Water is cool, okay? Number 1-3, that is Sammy Rizzle again, jamming unopposed as number 11 is still in the box. Bexon. Encountering a lot of difficulty though. I think this is the most difficult a Rainy jammer has had it in a while. Being recycled repeatedly, knocked out, recycled. Swansea Jammer is back on track, started in the penalty box, so is eligible to get lead if it's not already assigned. The Swansea blockers have moved forward, encasing number 1-3, whose name is still Sammy Rizzle. Swansea blocker going to the penalty box. Getting 2 penalties by the look of it. Insubordination. The Swansea pivot now joining them in the box.
That is Mort, number 7.
So we've got neither jammer out, and it's a minute into the jam. Only 2 blockers holding. What's the name again? Sammy Rizzle. One day I'm going to remember. And Will, yep, Bexon started in the box, battled through, lost 2 of their own blockers, and managed to get lead. So pretty impressive on that particular jam.
To say that this has been one of the toughest jams of the game, I feel like that might be an understatement. I mean, taking over a minute for either jammer to escape from that pack, it really is a testament to the blocking style of both teams.
And the jam is called. Hit slightly after the jam, I think, maybe there. Mort holding the lower back. Nothing happening, that's fine. Do you know who got lead in the previous jam? It's 5 seconds.
It's 5 seconds, and we have Mort up to jam, and I do believe that a penalty was assessed to Sammy Rizzle in that last jam, so Mort on a power jam.
Straight through, lead jammer, job's a good un.
And Mort coming back round on a scoring path.
Oh, it's like a swarm of bees then. Rainey were waiting for Mort to arrive. Looked really, really powerful in their net there. But just at the right moment, Swansea stormed their cluster. And another scoring pass there for Mort, really racking up the points.
This is exactly what these Swansea Slayers are going to want. Mort having 10 points on the board at present, going in for the next 4.
Rainy Jammer back on track, has removed the helmet cover, is being held by a fearsome clot of Swansea blockers.
I think Swansea have really stepped up in these last couple of jams. They had a lot of penalty trouble to begin with, but they're really locking down the jammers at present.
Fisher there giving advice to the other blockers, not wanting there to be a no-pack situation or for the blockers to go out of play. That difficult situation, trying to maintain contact with the jammer, but be legal.
And a 14-point jam there is now putting the Swansea Slayers on 51. 10 Hooligans currently on 114 with 3.5 minutes left in this first half of the game. We have a 273. I do believe that is Ducky up against McLean, 2544. And Ducky out in front with only 2 to get round.
Ducky kept in the pack by an illegal clockwise block there, I think. And there's been a back block issued against Jammer McLean for Swansea City, so Ducky is now skating unopposed. And we know how dangerous Ducky can be when jamming unopposed.
That is one jammer that you don't want to give too much room to on track for them to get speed, and you don't want them to be unopposed.
Okay. Swansea blockers up at the front trying to maintain contact with Ducky, but the pack was too far away. They had to re-enter the engagement zone. Ducky knocked out of bounds, forced to recycle. We've got a 4-3 pack advantage to Swansea at the moment, by the look of it. McLean has removed the helmet cover, but I think has it still in hand. Snail trying to give some offence there, while the rest of the blockers are very much absorbed in containing Ducky, who cuts, re-enters, concedes that cut. Is that the right word? Goes back. Didn't get a penalty for it. Star pass has occurred. Now Victory is wearing the helmet cover for Swansea, giving McLean a little rest. They've exited the engagement zone, coming up on scoring pass, and Ducky times the call to waste as much time in the penalty box as possible to release the pivot, who is sitting there quite sadly and alone. Oh, is it some sort of a timeout?
I think there is some sort of a timeout. I was going to say Ducky didn't call it off in time because I think the Slayers may have picked up a 2-point in that last pass. We've got an official review or an official timeout. I know it is an official timeout being called.
A little bit of confusion there, as we've seen both official timeout, official review sign, team timeout sign. I don't know, there's signals going on. What I can tell you is that we have skaters here for Rainy City: 012 Suki Sockham, 111 Kate Push, 13 Sammy Rizzle, 2 Lipstick Massacre, 20 Matty, 273 Ducky, 28 La Croûte, 311 Ella Diabolo, 316 Lily Gaskell, Captain 353 Calamity Curls, 52 Pera Pellegro, 56 El Nasser, 75 Una Bomber, and number 8 is Fisher. There, did it in the timeout. I can say some numbers in a short amount of time.
And also completely legible numbers and words.
Because I am so good at numbers and words, isn't it?
In it indeed. And we have number 316 up to jam. That is Lily Gaskell. But we have a lead jam for Coup de Gras. Coup de Gras getting low, getting some lovely offense and slicing through that pack, picking up a full 4-point pass. And I do believe we have a power jam, so that was actually a 5-point pass for Coup de Gras.
Indeed, 316. That's Lily Gaskell sitting down for penalties unknown. Just as Lily stands, the jam is called, so Lily will be jamming in the next jam as well. Or was that the other track? That was the other track. It wasn't. Ignore what I just said. Lily has returned to the track while Coup de Gras has seated herself in the penalty box. So all change on track number 2.
Little jammer switcheroo there. So Lily will now be the only jammer on track.
Just completing the initial pass, coming back round on a scoring pass.
And we have
not many blockers on track.
I was about to say that. Not too many blockers on track. I think they're all back on track now. Lily slicing their way through that pack.
Coup de Gras back on track now.
And looking at the clock, we have run out on the period clock, so we have 15 seconds left in this jam on this half of the game.
Coup de Gras coming back on, earning those 5 points. Presumably some of those were earned before they were called on the penalty. Ooh. Like a Swansea player pushed another Swansea player over. Accidental. All good friends. And half-time has been announced.
So scores currently standing 132 to the Tender Hooligans, and the Slayers behind with 63. We have got about 15 minutes left.
And it is 1 minute and 15 seconds until the second period of this game between Rainy City's Tender Hooligans and Swansea City Slayers recommences.
So at the moment, Tender Hooligans, as we can see, 132 to the Slayers 63. I'm going to say Slayers, if they can lock down and hopefully less penalties in this half, they might be able to eke that. It's not an insurmountable score, but it might be a little bit difficult.
Indeed, and of course they are playing to get to the final of the Tier 2 Championship this year. They'll be facing either London Rock 'n' Rollers or Manchester Roller Derby's Checkerbroads in the next game. So, might be nice to see an all Manchester final. Might be nice to see a Manchester take on the South. It might be nice to have an England-Wales final. So many options for so much sectarian. No. It will just be nice, whatever happens. Right, and the jam is on. We have got number 273. That is a Ducky, jamming again in the first jam of this period, like she did in the last period. Going up against number 7, Mort, who has got lead jammer.
Mort doing a fantastic start for Slayers. Like we were saying, they are going to play one of these teams. Will the winner of this? I'll put my teeth back in now. There's probably nobody listening anyway. The winners of this game will go on to play the winners of the next game, which is going to be Manchester Checkerbroads versus the London Rock 'n' Rollers. I mean, looking at the season that all 4 of these teams have had, there is a reason all 4 of these teams are here today to play. They've had fantastic British Champ seasons so far, and I'm just looking forward to everyone's more roller derby.
More of the roller derby, which we have now. We have had number 5-2 for Rainy City, which is, of course, Perapelligro, sent to the penalty box, leaving number 1-4, Coup de Gras, for Swansea as the sole jammer on track.
And this is a strong start for Swansea.
But I can't see a star anywhere, so I can only assume the helmet cover has come off, so nobody is eligible for lead in this jam. Nobody controls it. But everybody thinks they do. There's a little bit of wisdom for you. 5-2, Perapelligro is back on track. Certainly Perapelligro has had at least one jammer penalty before this. It's very important to stay on track if you are the jammer.
We have both jammers. Neither is lead, and another 45 seconds left in this jam for both jammers trying to score as many points as possible. However, Coup de Gras has once again removed the star from their helmet, so at present not actually able to score points because you need the star on your helmet to be scoring.
This seems to be the worst sort of scoring pass to be on, the one where you're not actually scoring. Right, 5-2, Perapelligro back up on another scoring pass. Mildly impeded, but gets through for another 5 points, taking the score up to 146 for Tender Hooligans, 65 for the Slayers.
81-point differential, but as we said, Coup de Gras isn't scoring points right now. And that jam has come to an end.
So Coop picked up another 4 points that were signalled at the end of the jam. Could have been so many more, possibly.
So next up jam we have Sammy Rizzle versus Victory for Swansea. And currently a block of Swansea is in the bin, with 2 in the bin for Rainy City. But Sammy Rizal out as lead for Rainey. Taking a big hit there, being knocked to the inside. So Sammy coming back around to attempt to score. Victory has escaped the pack now. And even with just 2 blockers on the track, they have locked down Victory and scooping that jammer back and forth on the track.
Matty returning from the box, joins the teammates and provides a very comprehensive wall of nope for Victory's intended trajectory. It's a little bit of offense from teammates there, but took a long time for Victory to get through to pick up those 4 points.
Can I just say that we are now going to start using the wall of nope that was fantastic. I think we've seen a lot of walls of nope in a lot of these games today, but I think these 2 teams are both putting up the walls of nope.
Reasons not to take part in this nonsense game. Walls of nope are a little bit depressing. There've been 5 seconds, but now there are fewer, and the jam is on. 3-1-6. We once again welcome Lily Gaskell onto the track and allow her to be lead jammer. Going up against number 7, Mort, who is not far behind Lily. Really powerful legs there. Look at those crossovers, Mort. And might have a little bit of a derby crush there. Just realised. And the jam is called as Lily has a little sit down on the track there, straddling the tape. Perhaps she was tired and wanted to rest.
Talking of derby crushes, I don't think you're the only person to have a bit of a derby crush on Mort. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think Mort might be on Team Wales, or has previously played with Team Wales for sure.
Quite possibly.
And I think the skill that they are displaying right now shows exactly why they are that kind of level, I guess.
Unusual to see the jammer recycling the opposing blocker. You'd think they had more important things to do, but that's what just happened. And still Ducky manages to get lead jammer. But I make that 4 times out of 7 that Ducky has jammed and got lead. Unfortunately, we see McLean going to the box for a back block. We see the pivot of Swansea going to the box. We see Jekyll for Swansea blocking themselves to the floor. And Ducky just shrugging it off, really. Always looks so cool. Also, I must say, massive derby crush on Ducky. So,
Again, not the only one. There are so many derby crush worthy players on this track, on the track next door, on track all weekend. I'm going to suggest that if you don't want to be listening to this live stream and you want to be here, get yourselves to Stoke. It's not that far.
And it's not that terrible. There's an Aldi. Anyway, back on track. We are seeing McLean with the helmet cover on, battling at the back of the pack, trying to get through a cluster of nope. While Ducky sails onwards, very elegant skating style. Very magnetic when it comes to points. They just seem to rush towards Ducky. Everybody all nice and cozy there, and a triumphant Ducky emerges from the fray. Oh, it looks like the pivot has just left the engagement zone. I suspect there's been a star pass.
And you would be right, we have Biasuti as jammer for the Slayers. However, not making it back to the pack in order to get any points.
Now, Biasuti, is that a clever pun I don't understand, or is it an Italian surname? We can literally never know.
Or we can find out at a later point.
Hadn't thought of that. I take back my use of literally. There is some kind of timeout. It looks like it's a team timeout to Swansea, as that's what's being signalled. We see the track rats methodically checking that the track is safe and secure.
We appreciate the tapeworms of.
Tapeworms, really? Oh.
Well, they're all up on the floor, and there's tape involved.
And they're never not hungry.
We did have somebody say earlier it was tournament track repair support.
Okay.
Or no, it was TTRT, tournament track repair team.
They're awesome, whatever their name. We've got number 5-2, who is still Pera Pellegro for Rainy City, going up against Mort again. Oh, I need to see how many times have Ducky and Mort gone up against each other, and how fast will my Derby Heart skate the next will beat the next time it happens. Jam is on. 5-2 is trying to poke away through a tough wall, and then gets through, but Mort batters somebody out of the way, and so fast there.
Mort is a very strong jammer, not just juking, but being able to, hit their way through as well.
0 point signal by Belinda, 1 point by another person in stripes.
That is Homo You Don't.
Homo You Don't, okay. And next jam sees Victory going up against Sammy Rizzle. Oh, Rainy City jammer just kind of gently falling backwards. Let's see what quite happened there. Lots of hands there trying to find holes, trying to find support. Yeah, I thought so. So, skater down. Jammer Sammy Rizzle has been called on a high block.
And the medics are going over to check on our skaters. As always, we like to give a big shout out to our medics. We are very lucky to have them looking after our skaters, our officials, our crowd, and we're so happy that they take the time out of their weekends to come make sure that we are safe.
Indeed. I mean, I'm always on hand to offer first aid support. I have an expired first aid certificate, and I remember some of the things I've been trained in. So, that they might have a more up-to-date thing, but, you can always rely on me. And I've never had anybody take me up on that so far. Skater being checked out, always really important with any kind of head injury. An innocuous knock can seem innocuous, but if you're concussed, the danger of damaging that further is real and present. So we do advise any sorts of knocks, you need to rest thoroughly.
We can also just say how sweetly the jammer Sammy Rizzle just checking on that blocker Snail as they were skating by. This is what we kind of love about this sort of sport, that we may be bashing one another around on track, but we actually still care and make sure that everyone's okay.
Yeah. Derby people do tend to be nice and decent on track. I've seen, not always, we're human, but but it does seem to be there's a high degree of care for officials, high degree of care for each other.
And everybody loves an announcer.
Oh my Zod, yes. In fact, I've got quite a big Derby crush on myself right now. Oh, and you obviously, Boots.
Well, I was about to say, you're not the only one that has a Derby crush on you.
It's the bow tie.
There's a massive love fest going on right now on the balcony for the announcers. We also have another fantastic set of announcers over at yonder. I think it's Sausage and Sleazer.
Sausage and Sleazer. What a sandwich.
And thankfully, Bear isn't on the microphone right now.
Yeah, he seems to have woken up. There was a worrying moment when there was a sleeping bear. And everybody knows you do not mess with a sleeping bear.
Never prod a sleeping bear.
On track, there is still official timeout after that injury. Hopefully the skater is absolutely fine. We're ready for the next jam. The Rainy City jammer is still in the box for that high block, obviously. Mort is lining up to jam. There is another Rainy City blocker seated in the box. So we've got 3 on 3, because there is a Swansea blocker standing as well. So Sammy Rizzle's penalty being served by Lily Gaskell now. Mort barely opposed at all, just sneaks through on the inside line there. All blockers just seem to be chatting about something. Whizzes background. Full complement of blockers for Swansea. 3 and no jammer for Rainey. Just being impeded by Unabomber there. Seems to be chest to chest. Very impressive there. I heard a whistle. Has anybody been sent? No, it's fine.
That might have been the other track that we heard a whistle going off. Mort back round for another scoring pass and making quick work of that pad.
Rainy jammer Lily Gaskell back on track, being nudged by Kitty. And meanwhile at the back, Mort is jiggling from side to side, making her way through. Calls the jam just before Lily Gaskell gets up to score. 0 versus 4.
14.
Oh, well. Okay, 14 altogether.
Yes.
So
score 14 points in one single pass.
Unless you manage to lap the jammer through some weird fluke of the jammer going...
Continuum?
Yeah, I think it would have to be space-time continuum. So at the moment, we've got 180 for the Tender Hooligans versus 87 for the Slayers. Now look at it, it's nearly 100 points. Can you work out the difference?
1...
No. 93.
93. Yeah.
That's the answer. I could see you were nearly there. I know that you nearly had that. We're in official timeout, and that's why we're doing maths lessons.
I didn't mean 100. I was counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Honestly, I can math.
Everybody loves a math. All right, back on 3-7 victory is at the back of the pack, battling through a clot of 3 blockers. While at the front we've got Ducky 273, who is being held by a jellyfish of 4 Swansea blockers. Number 28, nice bit of offence there from La Croûte, the crust, who just makes a hole by the force of the sternum, creates space. Victory is going for a wee sit down for a cut track.
And I do believe Victory was the jammer, but if we see, Victory does not have a star because the star is currently on track behind the Rainy City blockers.
Oh dear. So looked like Victory wasn't quite sure about whether she was sitting as a blocker or a jammer. Ducky is back on, skates straight past the opposing jammer helmet cover, which could be retrieved by either the pivot or the jammer when released, which has happened now.
And Rainy City are now stalking that pivot cover, but Victory swiftly picking it up from the floor.
Yeah, a little nudge, and the helmet cover was back in the hands of Victory.
And it was also swiftly passed to Bexon, as we've had a star pass.
So in order to complete the star pass, it had to be handed by the jammer to the pivot, which of course has happened now.
It could be that they were originally attempting to do a star pass, hence why the pivot, the jammer star was off. But they could have incurred a penalty as they were about to do that. So leaving that jammer star
It's a whole new jam. Which doesn't sound like any song that's ever been recorded by Disney, so don't sue me, please, Mr. Walt.
I feel that Walt Disney might not be able to sue us anymore. Not himself, personally.
Just his frozen head.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new jam. 52, that is still Peripelagro, is going up against Mort, number 7 for Swansea City Slayers. Mort just battering and a little hop over the apex there to be declared lead jammer. I really like the way that there's just this constant nudge, 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 nudge. And then a hole. It's not waiting for a hole, but actually making those holes there. Rainy pivots, number 8, Fisher, trying a little bit of blocking at the front of the engagement zone, but it came to nothing. Mort is your lead jammer, and Mort is scoring points. We've got Unabomber, Ella Diablo, and another blocker trying to stop them, but they're through. Jam's called.
Swansea doing a fantastic job there. Mort was sliding from side to side, picked a side, and then had her teammates give a nice sweeping offense to get Mort through there. That was some lovely technical derby.
So nice to see people helping their friends out. Scores now 184 to the Tender Hooligans, 99 to the Slayers. So we've got an 83-point differential. And if Swansea can gain a point, we'll all have to stay hydrated. In jammers here, we have got 316. Lily Gaskell are going up against McLean, 2544 for Swansea City. McLean right at the back of a long engagement zone, and just as Lily comes through at the front and the pack is condensed somewhat.
Like a concertina stretching out and condensing back in, making the sweet music that is roller derby.
There's poetry in this here commentary box. Lily Gaskell scoring lots of points there, while McLean takes the helmet cover off. Oh, Snail managing to knock Lily Gaskell out, recycling her. Swansea blockers at the front, poised, ready to receive Lily Gaskell, who just rolls around the blocker on the inside line there, who then immediately, Beckson that is, goes back, makes a hole for the Swansea jammer.
A little step on and off track there for McLean, being drawn back to turn 2.
Swansea recycling the jammer there. Some focused work from, was it Snail again? Is everything Snail? No, it was Kitty. Well done to Kitty for that recycling power.
In the meantime, McLean has picked up a penalty. That looked like a very tough jam from McLean. So they will be starting in the penalty box.
A little bit of shouting from the penalty box manager, making sure everything is legal, shipshape, and Bristol fashion. Nice communication seeming to go on there between the Rainy City pack.
It looks like we may have had a skater foul out, so
can you do the point differential at the moment, Boots? It's 199 to 99.
the point differential is 100.
Well done. And lead goes to Ducky, taking it in a stride, which is a very nice stride, I may have mentioned.
Fantastic stride and fantastic footwork is getting Ducky more points on this pass.
We have McLean back on track as jammer. There's been a cut track issued against a Swansea blocker. Was it 90? Was it Top Gurn? I think it might have been, but Top Gurn, if it is them, has been joined by Slaycock. Sorry to see those having a sit down, but let's hope the hospitality is nice. McLean finding it really hard to get past Unabomber's hips. Unabomber bracing on 2 other Rainy skaters. A little bit of help coming in now from Swansea blockers. A star pass is attempted, a star pass is completed. The new jammer is Biasuti.
And that jam being called, so Baisuti not managing to pick up any points. We've got 11 and a half minutes left in this game. Slayers have yet to reach 100, but Tender Hooligans have broken the 200 mark. So if you would like to stay hydrated, I suggest you take a sip of your beverage now.
Have did. Ooh, 5 seconds.
We have number 52, that is Pera Peligro, up to jam for the 10 coup de grace.
Lead jammer to Pera Peligro, as coup de grace is fighting through the pack on turn 2. I can never remember which turn's which. Yeah, nearly breaking through the front of the pack, coup de grace there, but Rainy Bodies just presented themselves and coup de grace has removed the helmet cover, possibly trying to fox the blockers into thinking that they're not the jammer. Doesn't look like a star pass is impending.
I was going to say, Rainy look like they have really taken the lead with this game and consistently making it incredibly difficult for any of those Slayer jammers to get through. Do believe we've had a star pass to Victory. Victory is going to give an attempt to get through that tough wall.
Victory through on their finishing their initial pass, coming up on a scoring pass, but behind them Pera Peligro, put my teeth in, is coming up and allows Victory to skate past their own teammates before calling it just in time to prevent any points scored. Swansea City Slayers still on 99. Tender Hooligans going up to 233, which is a 134 point differential, and there are just over 9 minutes on the clock. So seems unlikely that Swansea can make up the deficit at this point, but strange things have and do happen in roller derby.
I have seen teams that have been 100 points down race forward, so we're not going to count out those Swansea Slayers yet. We'll see if they can temper the Tender Hooligans' reign of terror.
And right now we have lead issued to Swansea Star of the Day, Mort.
If we're allowed to give MVPs, I feel like MVP Jammer will be going to Mort from these two announcers right here.
But they've all done very well. I mean, it's not only about getting the lead and earning the points. There's a lot of other things, and we shouldn't just dwell too much on that. Oh wait, no, it's a competitive sport. We should dwell just on that. We're in a team timeout now. And who called this one? We're adjusting the clock. So Jam Timer doing a sterling job, signalling Swansea's timeout, ensuring that the scoreboard shows the correct time according to the Jam Timer's stopwatch. Very important to make sure that they match. There's no discrepancy there. Both squads of blockers are on track there, just crowding the jammer line from the other side. Ducky waiting patiently, poised, ready to pounce, and Mort has returned to the track. Jammed in the last jam, is jamming again.
Let's just let the audience at home know that currently there's a lot of cheering for Mort and Swansea. They seem very happy that Mort is back with that jammer star.
Do you mean I'm not the only one?
I think lots of people are very much supporting Mort and Swansea. Let's be fair, it's all pretty good.
And Mort battling at the front through, and it's through with lead. Ducky about 48 84ths of a track behind her.
Very precise.
It's really not. Two Rainy blockers and a Swansea blocker take a tumble. Points are scored by Mort. No points are scored by Rainy.
And we have now seen the Swansea City Slayers. They have now hit the 100 mark, so they are on 107 points.
Against 233 for the Tender Hooligans.
That is 126.
Yes. Excellent mathing from Boots, as I didn't even see that happen. Number 52, Peligro. Something about danger. Dangerous dog, maybe? No, my Spanish isn't good. Gets lead instantly. Meanwhile, at the back of the back of the pack there, we've got Victory V, no helmet cover, just being lapped now by the Rainy Jammer. Picks up the helmet cover, drops the helmet cover, is basically being blocked within an inch of her derby life. Peligro being significantly impeded there by the Swansea blockers. Teammates too busy containing Victory, but as soon as Victory is out, Rainy City blockers switch to the offence. And all is well in the world. Jam-ins. Looks like we've got Unabomber in the box for Rainy City standing. We have two Swansea City blockers in the box, who I don't recognise from this far. We have got 316 Lily Gaskell taking the Jammer Star for Rainy City, and once again it is Mort skating for Swansea City in Jammer position. A little bit of an attack there from number 56 Rainy City, El Nasser, but it didn't slow down for long. Mort is your lead jammer. We have had a translation of Peligro, and I'm not going to repeat it.
I was going to say, Peligro, it is dog danger.
Pretty much what I said then, that's good. Female dog danger, perhaps. Yeah. Wonderful. Which, you know, is a perfectly valid word in English, but I just don't feel comfortable.
That is A-OK. At the end of the day, not only is Mimey fantastic with the stats and the words, we have translations as well.
I really am the Renaissance man person. Renaissance person. You should hear me sing. Oh, you did this morning. We had a lovely sing, didn't we? So
yeah, if you would like to hear a wonderful rendition of either a Queen song or an ABBA song, get yourself to Stoke and be nice to the announcers, and we will serenade one with our marvellous voices.
We are available for birthday parties, weddings, bar mitzvahs and funerals. Back on track with the Jammer penalty. Jammer penalty? Wrong word. Jammer's helmet cover. We have Mort once again. So in 5 jams, that's 4 where Mort has jammed. They obviously, Swansea, know where their strength is. They called a timeout, give Mort a moment to catch the breath, get him back up against Ducky.
I mean, all of these jammers have been doing a fantastic job, but let's give a big shout out to Mort. As you said, 5 jams, 4 jamming, absolutely phenomenal.
But not this time is the lead to be Mort, as Ducky has got through first and his lead. Oh, Mort absorbs a hit and almost seems to be powered by the hit, forcing the way, spinning through the pack. Ducky gets the last point against Biascuti and calls the jam. So I want to show off my translating prowess by Biasuti, because it sounded a bit like biscotti. So I'm going to say that Biasuti is Italian for a little biscuit. Oh, have just been flashed by a member of the audience. Thank you, Sephiroth. It's all go here in Stoke. Number 5-2, Pera Peligro. Oh, I can't even speak anymore. Pera Peligro is skating against another jammer from the other team. Is it McLean? Is it Coupe de Gras? It's Coupe de Gras. Oh, these skaters, they all look the same to me. Unfortunately, Coupe de Gras, just as I figured out who it was, has been penalised.
Looking up Biasuti on Google Translate, it's coming out as Biasuti.
Google Translate, always helpful in all translating matters if you don't really want to know what's being said.
And let's translate to you what is going on track right now. Pera Peligro is your lead jammer, is on a power jam, and Coupe de Gras is currently standing in the box. Some fantastic work holding Jekyll back, so Jekyll being the GOAT for those tender hooligan blockers.
Fantastic blocking from both teams here. Pera Peligro's forward motion has been completely impeded. We're just stuck on turn 4 here. Swansea bleeding blockers to the penalty box, and that's the only thing that's really released Pera Peligro, who calls the jam.
So we have just under 3 minutes left. The Slayers are on 109. The Hooligans are on 256. I don't want to call it in some ways, but I do feel with 2.5 minutes left, we are looking at tender hooligans going into the final tomorrow.
Which leads us to wonder, are they going to be playing London Rocking Rollers? Or must it be Manchester's Checker Broads? Only time can tell. We've got lead jammer. Is that Lily Gaskell? I believe it must be.
Lily Gaskell's pigtails swinging in the breeze as they swoop around that single blocker, picking up a full 5-point contingency.
Well done. Some nice tattoos there, Lily. I'm enjoying your art. Back to the track. We have got Coupe de Gras being released from the box finally, as Lily Gaskell shrugs off a couple of hits from Swansea. Barely noticing, it seems.
Swansea doing a wonderful job of running up and trying to catch Lily, and currently holding Lily at the front.
Sadly, Lily has committed a back block felony and will be seated for those 30 seconds or fewer. Who can know? Which means there's a new spurt coming from Coupe de Gras, knowing that they're unopposed. Helmet cover comes off. Will it be passed to the pivot? Not likely. The pivot has just been sent to the box. Jammer standing for Rainy City in the penalty box as several players take a tumble on track.
We had Calamity Curls and Ella Diablo doing some fantastic work there of really killing that power jam for Coupe de Gras.
3-1-6, Lily Gaskell just batters away through the pack. All the words are jumbled.
From the box to the pack and into your hearts.
I think that's what I was trying to say. So Coupe de Gras finishes the initial pass eventually, after a lot of hard work there and a little sit down in the penalty box, but it's to no avail as Rainy Rainy didn't call the jam. The jam just ended. We ran out of time there.
We might be about to run out of time for another jam, so we are just waiting to see the clock count down right now.
It's counted down. Nobody called for a timeout or anything like that. Our unofficial score is 275 to 109.
We will wait for that score to be official once the referees go and check with the NSOs. But I think it's safe to say Tender Hooligans' reign of terror continues, and we will see whether or not they will be raining some terror on Manchester Checkerbroads or the London Rocking Rollers once the next game is completed.
So 166 points ahead of Swansea. Every point well earned, though. I do think when there's quite a big point differential, it sometimes seems like, oh, it must be really easy. But Swansea definitely made them work for that and made it quite hard at points. But there was a real quality to the Rainy City Jammers and a strength. They're quite big as well, I think, and they
have a fantastic momentum that I think, as I said before, some penalty trouble at the beginning might have meant that Swansea had that little bit of issue sort of gaining points, and the less players there are on track, the easier it is for the opposing jammer to kind of get around, and Tender Hooligans really taking advantage of that, building that momentum, and both teams giving us a fantastic game to watch.
Well, it's been my great pleasure to be Mimey Maths, and I have been here with
Go Boots.
And we are going to go away. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.